Hey guys, Abby here. Just wanted to do a video only talking about list building costs because now that we have list building clickers being paid again, it is good to understand yes, we're seeing a big increase, which is awesome, and it's getting back to where numbers the founding members we were actually seeing last December. So the numbers have significantly gone up for list build, which is good, but I want people to understand that just because the clicks have gone up a lot with list build, that doesn't mean you're profiting. So I'm going to show you a couple different things. Depending on what package you're buying will kind of determine how much list building is costing you, and then depending on how much you're returning with your C Pro sends will kind of determine if you're profiting overall or if you're losing money. And that's why I really try and make it abundantly clear to just track all C Pro sends and how many clickers you're getting from list build so that you know how many clickers you're getting paid on, so that you know what you're making with C Pro and list building. It's very important to differentiate the two, and I think people are just saying, oh wow, I made $30 today, it's the highest I've ever seen, but then they're not realizing but the costs of that are more. So I'm going to try and explain that for you guys. So this is the package that I get. It is the package over here. When you come to Cliqly and you go to the updates page, it is that millions sale, or whoops, they changed it. The current flash sales you have to go to now. It's the one that is the 4 million right here. Get 2 million doubled to 4, and then you get the 5 million C Pro credits or whatever. I think this is it. Is this it? Oh no, this is only Cliqly Pro, I think. Let me look. The Flash Millions. The one I'm looking for is the 4 million. Yeah, and the C Pro credits. Yeah. So with the 50% off, it is $438. So what you get in that package right here is the 4 million and 5 million. The way I kind of calculate that is basically I'm sending C Pro for free. I'm only going to count costs when I list build. So what this is telling me is every time I send a batch of 10,000 emails, it is costing me $1.10. So if I wanted to come down here and I wanted to send 500,000 emails for the day, I would put 500,000 into this. That is the max that you can list build per day. It would cost me, at this rate that I bought, $54. Now, last week when we started getting clickers again, my average per 100,000 build, I made back an average of $6.70. So what this is doing is it's telling me it's taking $6.70 and is timesing it by 5 to give me my daily earnings, which most people were reporting over, $32 or more when they ran 500,000 list building. Now, if you bought at this rate like I did, that would have cost you $54 to build for the day. You made back $33, you're still losing $20 on that build. So where we want to make money is with C Pro to try and make up the $20 loss. Now, that will be determined depending on what you're averaging in C Pro. Right now, my C Pro tanked. I literally was averaging a week ago $1.57 per 10,000. So here's the difference in what I'm making now. So last week I went from I was right at $55 per day is what I made last week. My numbers on Sunday I started noticing they went down a little bit, and then on Monday, boom, completely tanked, and all week I have averaged $1.10. So watch this. I was averaging $55 a day. I tanked and went to $1.10, and now I am averaging $38.50 a day. And that's really right where I'm at. I actually can show you that. Hold on. Let me update this. I'll show you today's numbers. Today. $38.50. That's exactly where I'm at. Um, so honestly, I'm pretty frustrated because that doesn't even give me a payout for the month or for the week, unless obviously I do list building. So at least now that we have list building back, if I do a day of 500,000, which is typically what I run every week, I will actually make hopefully enough to send me over, the $300 threshold. But that tank really hurt me. I mean, I'm down $17 per day. So, and I know a lot of you are averaging less, but that's kind of my point. If you're only averaging with Cliqly Pro zero point 0.3, I mean, whatever tier that you're on, this is what you're making on daily average from this. So if you bought this big package, basically I'm considering your C Pro sends are free, so that's costing you $0, which is how I show that here. So whatever you make back on C Pro is profit. But if you're averaging 0.3, which I've seen so many of you getting 3 clicks per 10, no matter what you're on, you've got to be, let's see, at my level, tier 6, I would still be losing money. Because it cost me $54 to run 500,000. I only made $33 back, and if I was averaging 0.3, I would only be making $10. So I would literally be losing $10 per day on this. And the way, so if I did this every day, so what this number does right here is how many days did you build at this rate right here for the month. So if I wanted to do this every single day and this is what I was averaging, if I ran that for 30 days, this is how much money I'm losing per month. If this is all I'm making back. That's why you have to know where your money is coming from and your costs. So you have to average. Let's see what happens if you're averaging 0.4. Not much better. Let's see. If you're averaging 0.5, 50 cents. Okay, we're getting a little better. Let's see. I think it probably. Okay, so even if you're averaging $1 and you're sending 500,000 per day using this package right here, after 8 days you're going to run out of that. You're going to need to buy another one. Granted, you're sending for C Pro for free because you're always getting 5 million C Pro, and I wouldn't be out of 5 million yet, even at my tier. So I'm still sending for free in C Pro. But the problem is, if I did that every day, I'm still down $600 for the month. So let's see, I am averaging $1.10. I can't even run 500,000 a day without literally losing $100 a month. Now, granted, you don't have to build every day, which is what I point out to people. You have to know your numbers so you know how fast you want to build and not lose money. Now, if you want to invest and do that, and then you want to scale back to literally build 500,000 a week like I currently do, then you would put 4 because you're going to do 4 days of this, and then you would actually profit, which is what I do. So I will probably profit, let's see, yeah, 800. If I build at that rate, I'm going to make $850 if I build 4 times a week. Now, what I used to make, to show you the difference as of even last week, because this is what I averaged last week, look at the difference in my income because it tanked and I have no control to get myself on a better IP. That is why this business is frustrating. I literally took over a $500 a month hit because my IPs tanked overnight, and I've emailed and of course haven't been fixed yet. Or even if, I may not be fixed. But I understand why so many of you are frustrated because almost every number I've seen from new people, you're averaging under 50 cents. You're never going to make that money back building at any type of speed. So at 50 cents, let's see how many days you can, let's say if I was at my tier and 50 cents, a lot of you are at higher tiers than me. So if you're making 50 cents a day at tier 6, that's your cost. Let's see. You could still make $150 building 10 days a week. Or a month, I'm sorry. At this sending rate. So I hope that's kind of sinking in. Now, this is only if you bought this package. I know a package that new people, if you're paycheck to paycheck and you're not buying these big packages in bulk to save, then you're most likely buying the smallest packages and trying to make the most out of it. And you're coming over here and this is the one you're getting. You're getting this $97 one at 50% off, which is $48.50. So you guys are only getting 200, 3. You're getting 1 million. And you're spending, what did I say, 97 divided by 2. What is that, 48.50? So that is actually your cost, is the 48.50. So now look at your rate. You're actually spending $2. Now, granted, you can only do 200. So here are your costs, but you're only bringing back $13 because you're only doing 2 runs and you're making $670 back. So if you ran all 200,000, let's say you bought this every week. You know, you're at a lower tier in these C Pro credits you're sending for free because those last you longer because you're at a lower tier and you're building slower. And let's just say you did all 200,000 for the week. You have to figure out what you can average to make sure you're making money back. So if you're sending, let's just say you're even at tier 3 and you want to send 200,000 and you send that, obviously it's going to cost you, but depending on what tier you're making, you have to know what you're making back because you're losing money because you're spending 48 to make 13 plus whatever you're doing daily in revenue. So you just like here's your weekly profit. You just have to, so and here's what this number, you're gonna make a little bit at 50 cents. You got to make 50 cents to kind of break even, but a lot of you are making 3 cents per click. You're losing $5 on that package. And I can explain how this works. So when you put in the million, what this is doing down here is it's how many 10,000 cents did you get out of this package. And then it takes your average and says, okay, once you're done sending that, it's taking this number and multiplying it by this. And by the time you use all million of those credits, you're going to make back $30. So then it's taking $30 and it's saying, how much did you make with your 200,000 list building? You made $13.40, and it's adding the two together, and you made a total of $43.40, which means you lost $5 on that package if you're buying the smallest packages. So you have to make 40 cents to make $5. You have to average 40 cents to make a $5 profit. And if you're at tier 1, that's going to take you 10 days. 10 days to make $5 profit. That is why C Pro is so important, that Cliqly fixes that for new people and starts getting your averages up to $1 or more. Some people are averaging $1.50. I was averaging last week $1.57. You would make, if you were averaging what I was last week, $1.57, and this is the package you bought every couple weeks. Let's say you buy 2 of these a month. Right there, you'd make $170 off of 2 of those. So you'd at least make $70. That is why you have to know the numbers, and then you have to know what the rate you buy. So the best deal is that big combo, and I get that not everybody can afford $438. So, but that is why you have to know your numbers. So please figure out, it's still an in and an out, and you have to be able to return enough with C Pro to be able to cover the costs of how fast you're building. And that's why people have to slow down sometimes, because C Pro doesn't return anything for them to make money. So even if you weren't building and you have to buy credits now, you can actually still buy. I get the big 10 million one because it's the same rate, basically. It costs 31 cents per cent. But you can do that buying the, it's, what is it, 60, I think it's what, 67.50? And you get 2 million. No, it's 60, what is 125, right? Let's see, I'm trying to think. I'm acting like I'm actually talking to you guys, even though I'm recording this. Oh, guys, 250. Because 125 divided by 2, because 50% off or whatever, it's 62.50. So you're sending it 31 cents. So if you're buying just C Pro credits, this is, and see how the calculator put in now your costs. So once you start buying C Pro credits, it will put in the costs and then calculate those out for you, depending on what you're averaging. So if you're averaging a 0.3, you're not making money back. Look, you're literally losing money. That's why, like, you have to pay attention. You need to average 0.4 to kind of cover anything with list building. So that's why I kind of warn people, like, yes, get excited because we're getting clicks again and we're getting paid for them, but please don't misinterpret getting higher commissions for actual, like, profit. You have to know what you're spending in this and at the rate your costs are, so that you can determine if you're going to make money back. So, I mean, I just kind of wanted to do that and only talk about list building. And I know people will have questions and they won't understand that this is actually a copy of your guys' sheet that I give you. So this is what you see on the front end, and then you have this calculator tab that you just play with. And whatever packages you're buying, come up here and put your costs. You know, if you bought the 1 million, doubled to 2, if you bought this once a month and this one once a month, and you spread out your list building to 50,000 a week, like say you did 10,000 a day, 5 days a week, you could stretch that out to last you a full month, but the costs, are still the same and the return is still the same. So you just have to remember that, and you're going to do that 4 times. That would be 200,000 if you did 50,000 a week. You have your costs here. For the month, you could profit, depending on what you're bringing back. It really, like, it just depends what you're returning with C Pro, and then of course your costs. So you could profit a couple bucks off the package. So that's just kind of why, like, you really have to start grasping and understanding these numbers. I do hope this helps. I just wanted to focus on list building, but you can come in here and put whatever you're buying your credits for. And I know some of you want to play with the rates and put different costs for whatever, but it's still, you spent $438. By the time you run out of those credits, did you make $438 back? That is kind of the question. And we're in a results business. We aren't in a break-even business. We're in a profit business. We want you to make profit. But if you are breaking even, if you are spending $438, and by the time you use all the credits, if you are not making $438, that is a loss. Or if you're making $438, that is a break-even. That is why you have to pay attention. So this was strictly a list building video. Download I'll have it in the description, but download it. Even if you don't use my balance sheet, use my calculator tab so that you understand the costs. And then, yes, we get these numbers. You're going to have to, you have to use the calculator to come up with the numbers so that you can actually put, like, we used to average $4. Oh, that's so bad. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to figure out so this number was my sub rate last week. This 647 is how I calculate the sub rate over here. So I would come over here and I would put 647. So it tells me how many subs I should be getting based on what I'm sending per day based on that sub rate. And then, of course, the costs are calculated by what you purchase it for. So, this is very, like, it looks complex, but you literally only change the fields that are yellow. And whatever your C Pro average, like I said, I averaged $1.57 last week. So $1.57 would go there. And then it calculates out the numbers and the rate you buy at. So I hope that helps. And I know I'm talking a little bit softer and with a little less enthusiasm, but I am recording this after midnight again. So I try and be a little bit softer. Um, but if you like this video or if it helped, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the little bell notifications or whatever so you know when I upload these. And then, of course, please join the Cliqly Facebook group. It helps. This is where I post a lot of this stuff. This is where I can personally answer questions for people. If you comment below, of course I check those as well and I can answer it. But I really wanted the focus to be on you put your costs in here and make sure whatever you're spending. I mean, when you spend, you may make $3.35 back, but it costs you $12 to send that. That is my point. So you have to make it up in C Pro, or you just have to slow down building so that you give C Pro a couple of days to make that back for you. So I hope that made sense. I hope you guys, I hope I didn't confuse you too much. And if I did, hey, there can be another video. But anyway, you guys have a great one. Again, like, comment, join the Facebook group, and we will see you guys on the next video.